Chimpanzees and humans share 98.5% of their genes. They are the closest relatives we have in the animal world. The common chimpanzees are apes, which belong to the pan genus, and their scientific name is pan troglodytes. The first record of the word chimpanzee being used was in a 1738 edition of the London magazine. The name roughly translated as mockman, and it was derived from a Bantu language. In 1758, the spelling chimpanzee was released by another publication, and later the colloquial chimp was coined. A chimp's arms exceed the length of its feet. An average male stands at 3.9 feet and may weigh up to 200 pounds. When climbing trees, chimps use their strong arms. On the ground, they usually knuckle walk or move around on all fours using their knuckles to support their weight. Chimpanzees are highly intelligent creatures. They use tools for social displays and to acquire food. Chimps are also believed to have a concept of self and the ability of understanding and reproducing sign language and other symbols. After working with chimpanzees extensively, Dr. Jane Goodall had discovered that they are capable of displaying a range of emotions that were once thought to be uniquely human. This was possible because of their expressions and their facial musculature, which is very similar to ours. Dr. Goodall also discovered that chimps are capable of violence and even killing each other. She observed a territory war between two separate chimp groups. It had reportedly lasted for 4 years and ended with the members of one group killing all of the chimpanzees in the other. Number 4. Andrew Oberle. While Andrew Oberle was visiting the Jane Goodall Institute Chimpanzee Eden near Johannesburg, South Africa, he was attacked by 2 chimps. The 26-year-old had always been passionate about chimps ever since he was a boy and became even more interested in them after watching Jane Goodall's documentaries. As part of obtaining his master's degree in Anthropology and Primatology, Oberle was giving sanctuary visitors a lecture prior to the attack. He then entered a restricted area where Nikki and Amadeus, 2 alpha male chimps, pounced on him. Highly territorial animals, the chimpanzees perceived Oberle as a threat. They initially pulled him from under an electrified fence. Then they dragged him for more than half a mile, biting him repeatedly. Eugene Cousins was in charge of the rescue operation. He fired 2 warning shots in order to dissuade the apes from continuing their attack. Cousins commented on the events that followed. "I was then forced to fire around at the chimpanzee, warning the chimpanzee, because my intention at that point was that I needed to get to Andy, so there was no other alternative option. The absolute necessity there was how to save human life." The medical staff found him in a fetal position near a roofed open-walled structure. He was taken to a private hospital in Nelspruit. Hospital staff commented on the extent of his injuries. "He lost an ear. He lost a number of fingers and toes. He's got very deep wounds. He's got total removal of skin and muscle off his one leg and his one arm. Fractures all over the place. His skull and facial bones were exposed as he had suffered massive cuts." Oberle was in critical condition, and he was placed in a medically induced coma. His recovery included a bionic right hand, prosthetics on both his feet, and 22 other surgeries to repair his face. Wild chimpanzees are only found in Africa. They inhabit 22 countries from the continent's west coast to the east, reaching as far as Tanzania. The most significant number of chimpanzees are located in Gabon, Central African Republic, Republic of Congo, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. They are omnivorous, and the fact that they have a varied diet enables them to adapt to various habitats. Although most of them live in tropical rainforests such as the Congo jungle, they have been known to inhabit more arid areas as well. These include swamp forests, bamboo forests, open woodlands, and open savannas. Their behavior is greatly influenced by the type of environment they live in. Chimps spend a lot of time in trees where they forage, socialize, and sleep. They live in groups which are called communities. They have a fusion-fission society where the members change constantly as they wander off by themselves or join other groups. Family bonds in a chimpanzee community are very strong, particularly the ones between mothers and daughters. Chimps are highly social creatures, and the manner in which they interact is in many ways similar to that of human beings. At the top of their hierarchical society is an alpha male, usually between the age of 20 and 26. Number 3. James Davis. I remember every bite. one at a time. I remember when I went to touch my face, my fingers looked really scary, Davis told a news outlet as he remembered his horrifying chimpanzee attack. Retired NASCAR driver James Davis and his wife LaDonna had had a pet chimp for many years. Mo was viewed as a member of their family until he was removed from their home in 1999 after biting off part of a woman's finger. He was taken to the Animal Haven Ranch owned by Ralph and Virginia Brower. In 2005, on the chimp's 39th birthday, Davis and his wife decided to visit him. The couple was standing outside Mo's cage, holding a cake they had made for him, when they were attacked by Ollie and Buddy, two young male chimps. The chimps had escaped from the adjoining cage and charged at the couple. Their attack only ended after Mark Carruthers, the sanctuary owner's son-in-law, shot and killed both of them. Amazingly, LaDonna escaped with minor injuries and was only bitten on her hand. James, however, was left in critical condition. The chimpanzees had chewed off a large portion of his face. He had lost most of his nose, his lips, an eye, and cheeks. He had even lost parts of his genitals and buttocks. James Davis's recovery would require more than 60 surgeries over the course of several years. Although chimpanzees and human beings share many similarities, when it comes to unarmed killing potential, there are a number of critical differences. Pound per pound, chimpanzees are at least 2 times stronger than humans. This is due to the fact that their skeletal muscle fibers are larger and generate more power. In addition, chimpanzees do not have the same motor control as humans. They have less motor neurons, which activate their muscles differently by contracting more fibers at once. This makes chimpanzees explosive fighters, sprinters, and climbers. Their displays of dominance include stamping, charging, and throwing objects. Even though a chimp's dentition pattern is the same as a human's, its canines are much larger. When they attack, chimpanzees are fierce. Documented attacks on humans have shown that chimpanzees break bones, tear out muscle fibers, and even chew off faces. Number 2. Dunya Sibomana. 6-year-old Dunya Sibomana, his 4-year-old brother, and one of their friends were playing near a river close to Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Tragedy struck when the boys were attacked by a troop of chimpanzees. It was believed that because of the poaching and violence inside the park, the chimps viewed humans as enemies intruding on their territory. Dunya's friend was killed, and his little brother was dismembered by the aggressive primates. The boy's father was working on a field nearby, but could not hear their screams over the sound of the roaring river. When the man went to check on the boys, the first thing he saw was the dismembered remains of his youngest son. Then he found Dunya and hastily took him to the park rangers to receive medical care. Dunya was the only one to survive the attack, but not without consequence. He was severely mauled by the chimpanzees. According to the initial reports, the boy lost both his upper and lower lips, parts of his cheek, one of his fingers, a part of his right ear, and had internal damage as well. Dunya could no longer chew or swallow food properly, and he also had trouble speaking. His wounds would impact him psychologically as well. After his recovery, the boy returned to school in the Congo for a period of time. The other kids started to laugh at him and make fun of him because of his disfiguring scars. Dunya became more withdrawn and started spending more time alone. Through the help of the Smile Rescue Fund for Kids, Dunya was taken to New York, where he underwent extensive surgery. Doctors took tissue from his forearm and used it to reconstruct his lips. The boy remained in Brooklyn and was enrolled at the Pines Elementary School. Jennifer Crean, Dunya's host mom, her fiance Kevin, and their children welcomed the boy to their family and made efforts in helping him restore his self-confidence after his successful medical procedure. As of 2016, they continued to take care of Dunya until he would be ready to be reunited with his father. There are a few steps you can take in order to survive or avoid an encounter with an aggressive chimpanzee. If you are planning to observe these animals in their natural habitats, make sure you dress plainly and remove your jewelry or piercings. If you have long hair, you should consider tying it up or putting it back. Wearing contact lenses instead of glasses is also a good idea. Even though some wildlife experts have cultivated relationships with chimpanzees and no longer feel threatened by them, you should always remember that they are wild animals that are unpredictable possible. Therefore, you should keep your distance. Maintaining a safe distance is among the best ways of preventing an attack. You might consider feeding the chimps as a way of initiating contact and showing them that you are non-threatening, but this may also put you in danger. Eating one chimpanzee might attract others. Should you run out of food, it is possible for them to take it as a refusal to share and as a sign of aggression. Always be aware of the body language you display. Showing your teeth to a chimpanzee will often cause them to perceive you as a possible threat and might trigger an attack. Avoid sudden or rapid movements and intimidating postures. If confrontation is inevitable, do not run. Instead, slowly fall back and avoid direct eye contact. A clenched fist might be perceived as an indication that you have food. Thus, showing your empty palms will reduce the chances of an attack. Do not scream at the chimpanzee or try to fight it, as it will most likely overpower you. Having a firearm would increase your chances of survival. Number 1. Charla Nash. Charla Nash was the victim of one of the worst chimpanzee attacks in recent history. In 2003, Travis unbuckled his seatbelt and ran away from his owner's car, held up traffic, and was on the loose for several hours before he was finally caught. After the incident, the Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection issued a law which prohibited people from keeping apes that weighed more than 50 pounds as pets. Although the law was officially in effect in 2004, the DEP did not enforce it on Sarah Harold, Travis's owner, as they did not believe that the 200-pound chimp posed a safety risk. In 2009, while Charla Nash was visiting Harold, she was attacked by Travis. Upon seeing that the 55-year-old woman was holding one of his favorite toys, Travis charged at her. Harold hit him with a shovel and stabbed him with a butcher knife in order to get him to stop. Travis had been Harold's pet since he was a baby, and she saw him as her son. She later said, "For me to do something like that, put a knife in him, was like putting one in myself." The woman then called 911 in order to plead for help. The operators initially thought it was a prank, but then they heard Travis's screams and Harold's frightening voice shouting he's ripping her apart. The emergency services arrived on the scene and waited for police support. When the law enforcement units arrived, Travis approached one of the cars and smashed a side view mirror. Moments after the chimp opened the driver's side door, he was shot multiple times by Officer Frank Shafari. Travis went back into the house. His lifeless body was found next to his cage. Nash's injuries were extremely severe. The hospital staff that treated her initially reportedly needed counseling after witnessing the gravity of her wounds. Nash had lost her mid-face bone structure, lips, nose, eyes, and even her hands. 4 surgeon teams operated on her for more than 7 hours. Her jaw was successfully reattached, but unfortunately, the attack would leave her permanently blind. Xanax was discovered in the ape's body after the autopsy. It was revealed that Travis suffered from Lyme disease, which is known to set off psychotic behavior. Experts believe these are the main reasons behind its frenzied attack. Whether you are an arachnid enthusiast or someone suffering from arachnophobia, there is no denying the dangers that surround certain spider species. Here are 8 of the worst spider bites in the world.